This is the second video today. Super Bowl Sunday. I was running my errands and just my mind been rolling. It's been a quiet morning, so I've had just a lot of thoughts, a lot of time with my thoughts today. And I want to talk about why we fight. Why, as in like why someone would choose to get up and train and learn how to throw punches and then try to find someone to punch at them, and et cetera, et cetera. And as I was literally like right now, like 2 minutes ago, I realized I don't have the answer to why I do this. Well, the true answer for me is because I love it. And it's like, as I was sitting there thinking of the reasons why someone might want to fight, like they see someone like Conor McGregor, Anderson Silva on TV, and they want to experience that greatness, or they look up to that image and think that's like the epitome of coolness or manhood or accomplishment, and want to become that. And I can honestly say I never had that view. The same love and passion that I had for fighting when I was 4, watching Power Rangers fight puttymen, it's the same thing now. It never changed when I saw a champion or someone perform something great, because even though those Power Rangers were choreography, I guess, it still looked much more spectacular than anything I've seen in the UFC today. Like, one guy fighting 8 is way more impressive than one-on-one. So with that in mind, with the statement being, I don't know how to answer why, I think that alone is a powerful concept. Like, we have to be honest with ourselves about why we're doing this. Like, if I go back and think about when I played paintball, the real why I started playing paintball is a group of my friends got into it. But what was odd about it is my group of friends got into paintball. We went out in the woods and I didn't really know what was going on. Everyone was trying to be like military people. And it quickly turned into this macho tough guy thing that like I hated. And then it immediately turned into people would only want to play like once a year. Now, my passion to do this probably became, like, in the very first time we played, some asshole had his gun turned up way too hard and it shot me back in the back of the head 10 feet away. And I'm like 12 years old or 11, and like it fucking hurt, left a dent in my head and stuff. And like all my friends talked shit to me about it because I almost cried and stuff. And it's like, so I had this chip on my shoulder that I was gonna get better. Well, as time went on and they would only play once a month, and they would like talk crap about each other, and as we'd involve other friends, and people would show up like once a summer to play. And then we finally have the opportunity to play with a team, which is, so like when we're going out in the woods, we're playing with a bunch of people that are buying guns from Walmart for the most part. And as we grew our friend group and got a little older, we ran into people that really played, and they had way better guns. And it's kind of like people in their first 3 months of MMA training going with someone who's trained for 5 years. It's just, you can't compete if they choose not to let you to compete. There's just, one, the experience and the adrenaline, the paint is constantly raining on your bunker. Like, you have to be calm and realizing which sides they're coming from so you know which angles you can pull. And 2, you literally can't keep up. They're firing 20 balls a second, you can fire 1. Like, it's a major gap in difference. Well, that leads to other people getting lit up like I did the first time. Like, they get hit a bunch and whatever, and people realize they're not as tough as that, but no one wants to vocalize it. Well, then come like 10th grade, we have the opportunity to play with some people our age on a team. Like, these homeschool kids put out a flyer and they'd build a real field where we'd practice. Guess who was the only one to fucking go? And who was the only one who could say they played paintball in high school out of my fucking friend group? That was motherfucking me. These motherfuckers who mocked me for like getting hurt the first time I fucking played were too scared to step out of their comfort zone with real players and lose over and over so they would get better. Like, their whole outlook on paintball wasn't to play paintball. It was to look good or be tough or act like a military guy. And they never took the time to realize that or whatever. It is what it is. I mean, I get so emotional easily or fired up. It's like I got to keep myself in check. But I'm recognizing that these days. But as I'm honest with myself, my passion for paintball didn't even come until I got with those homeschool kids and started seeing the real sport in it. I actually got outside of the environment of the friend group I had developed at school, who was literally like trying to bully me, and got with people who would really play. And then we went to real tournaments and won real stuff. And these kids at school, like, they can't do shit. They won't do shit. And they talk about wanting to come play and this and that and this and that. And I'm like, well, you can't now. Like, or they don't want to now because they're so behind in competition that it's like they're going to be using that Walmart gun. They want to use my $900 gun. And it's like, no, you should have been here learning how to play and you could have won one like me. This is just, I don't know. But, so I say all that little paintball story just to kind of use my personal life and not have to single anyone else's out or anything. Just to be like recognizing why we're doing something. And it's like, if you're just doing MMA to try to feel tough, to try to look macho, like you have an insecurity, that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that. But if you're honest with yourself and you realize that, you're probably going to be able to find a solution to that insecurity quicker than if you keep doing MMA. And it's not to say you would have to quit doing MMA, but like, you'll have much more enjoyment in a sport or a hobby if you are in it for love and passion and finding something. It's like when you're playing a video game over and over. I keep playing Overwatch and I keep learning new steps, and it's like chess. There's just always another angle that you can take on to learn, and it's exciting to me. When you're in a craft or a sport like that, it's going to lead you to good places, because you don't want to be like keeping up with the Joneses in your hobby. Like, you want to be getting better at your rate of getting better and not occupied by someone else. So many people will get into this sport and say they want to be in the UFC. Well, man, that's really a shitty goal to have. And I'm going to tell you why that's a shitty goal to have. Because one, it's a huge goal. It's a huge fucking goal from day one to have. Is to say a specific, what are you going to do if everything I'm saying is right about the finances of the UFC and the UFC shuts down? Your goal's over. You're not going to be able to join the UFC. That's the end of it. So to say a specific organization, then when that organization is a top tier organization and you're saying that you want to be the best in the world, you want to compete with the best in the world, getting to that level is a goal in itself. Then once you get there, you are on a whole nother platform of a goal. So if your goal is you want to get to the level where you're in the UFC, you want to get to the UFC, you are going to have such a hard ride when you get there. Because everything's going to get 10 times harder. Everything's going to, half the things you think, the reasons why you want to be in the UFC aren't going to be true. Like, you're going to sign that UFC contract and you're not going to get paid. Your bank account's going to look exactly the same until you fight. And then if you win, you can get $15,000. And then you got to wait your suspensions. You got to wait everything else. Get another match made. Then you got to get ready for that match. Everything, you got to pay all your bills and everything. I don't want to get into too much of it, but it's like all of the business side of it is what people don't ever really think about whenever they're setting goals and stuff. But I don't know. That's 10 minutes.